What? LaToya girl, every song isn't about you, girl. Damn. Everybody wants you, girl. Everybody. But the media developed this fascination with his face. Although we never brought them ourselves, we often found copies of the tabloids lying around the house, left there by workers, I suppose. Bullshit. The whole staff would be fired. The hell? How is that not taken care of immediately? But I'll move forward. Mother has always taken anything said or written about her children very personally. I wish I could say that more than 20 years in the spotlight has given us all thick skin against damning press. But there are some things that go too far. When my mother saw alleged pre and post surgery photos of Michael, tiny arrows indicating all the rumored procedures, it was too much for her. She spread out on a table pictures of Michael and with him at her side, angrily pointed to each photograph, explaining, "This is when you were going through adolescence and your face was so full and round. Now this is from when you first became a vegetarian. See how slim you are and how your cheekbones stand out? Here your skin is darker because it was summer, but it's lighter in this photo because even I can tell that the flash was too close." She harumphed bitterly, pounding her fist on the table for emphasis. Why can't they understand? "Mother, the public doesn't know all this," Michael said. "But it's so unfair. Why are they treating you like this? It's not true, and I'm going to do something about it." "But what?" Michael asked. "Mother, you know what the lawyers say. These magazines, all they have to do is cover themselves with one little word or phrase. They can print whatever they want, but if they add, 'it's rumored' or 'it appears,' they're off the hook legally, child. That's like allegedly. Down here in the YouTube world, all that Tasha K had to do was just say allegedly in front of that Cardi B mess, okay? But I don't know. I do know. She said that Nicki Minaj put her up to it. Now, I ain't trying to fight none of you Nicki Minaj barbs. I don't want no problems with none of you bitches. To sum it up, Nicki Minaj put a battery in Tasha K's back. Okay, I'll move forward. Yes, but the truth is so elusive sometimes. We began wondering, what won't the paper say about Michael or any of us? Sometimes my family and I suggested that he speak out more publicly and not be so reclusive. My brother's answers to us was always the same. Anything he had to say was contained in his songs, and there was nothing he felt compelled to add. He used to give interviews freely until one national news weekly distorted a comment of his. Michael said he wanted to visit starving children overseas and help them, but the reporter misquoted him in such a way that he seemed to be saying he would enjoy watching them starve to death. Girl, my brother, angry as I'd ever seen him, vowed, "That's it. No more interviews." Child, with the media busy unearthing every tidbit about my brother, it was inevitable they would discuss his devotion to the Jehovah's Witness faith. On the victory tour, despite daunting logistics, he'd hired someone whose sole task was to locate a Kingdom Hall in each town so that Michael wouldn't miss a single meeting. At one stop on the itinerary, he and Mother were late to a meeting. They quietly found seats at the rear of the hall and settled back to listen to a witness at the podium exhorting, "I don't want any of you here today to be hypocrites like Michael Jackson, who professes to be a Jehovah's Witness, yet performs on stage for people all over the world. As Michael listened tearfully, the man went on, unaware that the object of his disapproval was right there in the hall. Do not look up to him. Do not idolize him. This wasn't just one person's opinion, but was in accordance with the religion's belief. An article in the organization's official publication, Watchtower, encouraged witnesses to dispose of any record albums and videotape they might own that contained verbal or visual reference to witches, demons, or devils, and never to wear t-shirts or jackets that advertised such performers. This elder wasn't singing out Michael per se, but it still wounded my brother to hear it. After the service, though, he approached the man, shook his hand, and said, "Your speech was very good." Michael realized by now that his popularity, music, videos, and dancing on stage deeply troubled some members of the faith. That he was drenched in wealth was another mark against him. For Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in striving for success, as this is a fleeting world. I once worried that my fellow witnesses would judge me materialistic because I preferred wearing natural fabrics to less expensive polyester. Whatever long-standing reservations these witnesses held about Michael being a pop idol crystallized the night he won those record-breaking 8 honors at the 1984 Grammy Awards. The very next morning, one elder issued him an ultimatum that my brother must choose between music and the religion. "What you're doing is wrong," the man declared. "I'm still living according to the teachings," he pointed out, as he'd done so many times before. "I still go door to door, wherever I am, even if I'm not on tour. I can't help it if people hang my poster on the wall or tear my pictures out of magazines. I don't ask them to idolize me. I only want them to enjoy my music." "Then you shouldn't make the posters, Brother Jackson," one of the elders countered. "Other people make the posters," Michael replied. "I am being idolized, true, but that isn't my fault. Unless he disappeared completely from public view, there was no way to prevent people from adoring him." Truth be told, many Jehovah's Witnesses used to congregate outside the Kingdom Hall, hoping to catch a glimpse of Michael Jackson, knowing full well this kind of adulation was forbidden. But then there was those parents who warned their children to stay away from him. This hurt my brother more than anything, though the admonitions usually went unheeded. Michael did everything humanly possible to demonstrate his dedication to Jehovah. Once, when an elder criticized, "Your movements on stage suggest sex. Don't do them anymore," my brother complied without protest and promptly changed the routine. He also invited an elder on tour to see for himself that he lived in harmony with all the faith rules canvassed door to door and attended all meetings. Sometimes it seemed these efforts were in vain. A lover of horror movies since he was little, Michael was extremely proud of the 11-minute thriller video, a special effects extravaganza in which he turns into a werewolf and a dancing corpse. To squelch criticism from other witnesses, it opened with a disclaimer reading, "Due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult." But that did not satisfy critics who felt it sinful merely to portray demons and other occult figures. While Michael and Mother always urged me to attend the Kingdom Hall with them, I usually declined, though I continued to conduct my life within the teachings as far back as my brother's and my stay in New York while he filmed The Wiz in 1977. My attendance had tapered off. Grounds for expulsion. Why I stopped going, I couldn't say for sure. I only knew that from the day I was ordered never to speak to my disfellowshipped friend Darlis, certain aspects of the faith had troubled me. One day I walked into Janet's room to find Michael crying his eyes out. When I asked him what was wrong, he jumped up, ran into the bathroom, and closed the door. Hearing his muffled sobs, I turned to my sister. Jan, what's wrong with him? Why is he crying like that? My first thoughts was that someone was seriously ill or had died. I can't tell you, Latoya, she answered, then retrieved Michael from the bathroom. After several attempts to get him to explain, he finally broke down and said, okay, I'll tell you what's the matter. He drew a deep breath and looked at me sadly. Latoya, the words came out in torment. I can't talk to you again. What do you mean? The elders had a big meeting and they told me never to speak to you because you haven't been coming to the Kingdom Hall. They asked me what I plan to do about it. I said, that's Latoya. That's her life. But they said that if I don't stop talking to you, they'll kick me out of the religion. They said I have to make this decision now. I was furious. Michael decided to disobey the elders' edict, and after that never attended any more meetings. To this day, we've never discussed exactly what happened, but I know he subsequently severed his ties to the organization through a formal letter. Michael wasn't the only Jackson looking to top Thriller. Janet had emerged from her divorce determined to have a hit no matter what it took. Now my sister had a habit of conducting business calls over her speakerphone, talking so loudly I often had to go across the hall and ask her to keep it down. Right before the release of her third album, I overheard her telling someone she worked with that she knew she was going to be bigger than Michael and that her new record would surpass Thriller in sales. I shuddered at her cattiness and told Michael about it. That's terrible, he said, hurt and confused. How can she be that way? But that's how she is, tremendously competitive. Janet was so threatened by some of the other female artists on her label's roster, she often complained to powerful business associates that someone else's record was on the charts and on the radio, and that she didn't like it. Hearing that, all I could think was, I hope she never turns against me. Upon its 1987 release, Michael's Bad sold a staggering 15 million copies and became the first album ever to launch 5 number-one singles. Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel, Dirty Diana, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, and Man in the Mirror. Musically and lyrically, the record was every bit as accomplished as its predecessor and a phenomenal success by anyone's standards. Anyone, that is, but Michael Jackson. He was deeply disappointed by the album's showing, especially when it won no Grammy Awards. Ever since I played a dancehall girl in Say, Say, Say duet with Paul McCartney, my brother wanted me to appear in several of his videos, including The Way You Make Me Feel. Michael described the scene for me. Okay, Latoya, I'm the guy and you're the girl. At first, other guys are after you, fighting over you, and you don't really care, but I'll be the one that gets you. Great, it sounds like a lot of fun. As far as we were concerned, the two of us would merely be playing parts. But Frank Dilio and several other advisors pointed out to Michael that because The Way You Make Me Feel has such overtly sexual overtones and I am his sister, people might read something into it. You know what's funny? When I seen the Say video, I never even thought of it like, what kind of incestuous bullshit is this? I just was like, oh, he used Latoya as his love interest, and I was real young when that song came out, but I just was happy to see, oh, he's using his sister in the video. And considering now how religious he was, I really don't see him picking a girl to say, hey, you, why don't you come be in my video? I don't see him being that exploited. They have guys now who purposefully pick very young girls to be in the videos, knowing they look like dirty old men. Maybe I shouldn't think about what people are going to say, he said to me, annoyed. The way I look at it is, you're just playing a character, like in a movie. We'd had a similar discussion 3 years earlier about the casting of Thriller. Ultimately, my brother couldn't ignore the fact that the media would have sensationalized it. What? Latoya, girl, every song isn't about you, girl. Damn, everybody wants you, girl. Everybody, y'all just wait. more is coming. I literally want to smack Toya Jackson in the face. Girl, you cute, but you ain't that motherfucking cute. Okay, once you started messing with your face, girl, you tripping right now. So now you trying to tell me that Michael Jackson chose Ola Ray second? What? Get out my face, girl. Ola Ray is the Thriller girl. LaToya Jackson always think every song is about her. She gets on my damn nerves with that. We'd had a similar discussion 3 years earlier about the casting of Thriller. Ultimately, my brother couldn't ignore the fact that the media would have sensationalized it. I could just picture leering tabloid headlines like, "Are Michael and LaToya really lovers?" just below the Elvis sightings and fudge brownie diets. As Michael prepared to go on the road, the massive problems of the Victory Tour threatened to repeat themselves.